When the promotion list came out, everyone in the office celebrated except Henry. After 8 years of loyalty, he was still the one asked to fetch coffee for the people he trained. That night, staring at his reflection in the dark office window, he whispered to himself, "Maybe I'm not worth as much as I thought." Welcome to Stories by J&E Motivation. If you're hooked in and you're ready to enjoy this story, click subscribe and let me know in the comments where you're watching from, because tomorrow, I'll be giving you another story just as interesting as this one. And you don't want to miss it. Now, let's get into it. Henry Wallace had never been late to work. Not once in 8 years. He was the kind of man who ironed his shirts the night before, shined his shoes until he could see his reflection, and arrived 30 minutes early just to make sure everything was in place. But that morning, he sat in his car long after he'd parked, gripping the steering wheel with both hands and wondering if all his effort had ever meant anything. The sun was still low, painting the New York skyline in amber light, and Henry's reflection in the glass looked older than 37. His tie was straight, his jaw freshly shaven, yet there was a hollowness behind his eyes, one that comes from realizing you've been running in circles. Inside the office, laughter echoed from the break room. His colleague, Kevin, who joined only 2 years ago, had just been promoted to senior project manager, the very position Henry had trained him for. "We'll celebrate at noon," Kevin shouted, clinking his mug with others. Henry managed a stiff smile, nodding as he passed by. He took his usual seat, corner desk, no window, and stared at the congratulatory email still open on his screen. Not for him, of course. For Kevin. The message read, "Your leadership and creativity have been exceptional this quarter." He closed the laptop, the words burning in his head. Exceptional leadership. Creativity. Henry had done everything by the book. Followed every rule. Stayed late. Helped others. But somehow, that never translated into value, not in this place, not in anyone's eyes. At lunch, he sat alone, picking at his sandwich when his coworker Dana walked over. She was a quiet but observant woman, the kind who noticed things others didn't. "You okay, Henry?" she asked, sliding into the seat across from him. He forced a smile. "Yeah, just thinking." "About the promotion?" He nodded. "I thought I'd earned it. Guess I was wrong." Dana leaned forward. "You know what your problem is?" He frowned. "What?" "You confuse effort with value. You work hard, but that doesn't mean people see your worth. You need to learn how to increase your value, not just your effort." Her words stung, but they stayed with him long after she left. That night, he couldn't sleep. He replayed every year in his head, the nights spent finishing reports, the weekends sacrificed, the quiet moments when his bosses nodded but never noticed. He realized Dana was right. He had been useful, but never valuable. The next morning, Henry did something he hadn't done before. He walked into the office with nothing to prove. Instead of rushing to his desk, he went straight to the conference room where the department head, Mr. Lawson, was preparing for a meeting. "Sir, may I speak with you?" Henry asked. Mr. Lawson looked surprised. "Make it quick, Wallace." "I've been here 8 years," Henry said steadily. "I've trained half this team, and I've delivered on every project. Yet, every time a leadership role opens, I'm overlooked. I'd like to know why." Lawson raised an eyebrow. "You're reliable, Henry. Consistent. But leadership requires visibility, strategy, initiative. You stay behind the scenes too much." "In other words," Henry said quietly, "I don't market my value." Lawson smiled faintly. "Exactly." That single conversation changed everything. Henry began observing what made people like Kevin stand out. He noticed how Kevin volunteered to present ideas in meetings, how he offered solutions instead of waiting for instructions, how he talked about results, not just effort. Henry decided to shift his own approach. He signed up for a leadership course at night, learned communication strategies, and began taking ownership of projects rather than simply executing them. He also started sharing success stories from his team in weekly reports, making sure upper management saw the impact of his work. 3 months later, a client presentation came up. Kevin was supposed to lead it, but he fell sick at the last minute. The team panicked. Henry stepped up. "I'll do it," he said. It was a bold move. His heart pounded as he stood before the boardroom full of clients and executives. But this time, Henry didn't play it safe. He spoke with confidence, shared innovative strategies, and ended the pitch with a proposal that stunned everyone. When he finished, the room was silent, then erupted in applause. By the end of the quarter, the company had signed its biggest deal of the year. And for the first time, Mr. Lawson called Henry into his office not to assign more work, but to promote him. "You've come a long way," Lawson said. "You didn't just work hard, you became valuable." Henry smiled, thinking of Dana's words. "Thank you, sir. I just decided to start investing in myself." That night, Henry stood again by his office window. But this time, his reflection looked different, steady, confident, fulfilled. The hollow look was gone. He had learned something powerful. People will only value you to the level you value yourself. And maybe that was the lesson he needed all along. Reflection question. For viewers, have you ever worked hard only to feel invisible? What's one thing you can start doing today to increase your value instead of just your effort? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching this story to the end. If you enjoyed this story, you will surely love the next one.